Hello, and welcome to a new year of TViva, a program about all the wonderful things that are going on in Fall River, Massachusetts. I am Patti Rigo, an executive director of Viva Fall River, an organization that works to promote all the wonderful things about Fall River and its community in order to make it a premier South Coast destination. With me, as always, is my co-host, also executive director, Ashley Okino from the Fall River Arts and Culture Coalition, which is a wonderful open source member organization for artists, creatives, and anybody who is interested in arts and culture and having that be part of the community. Hi,
Awesome.
Ashley.
Happy New Year.
Happy
I almost
New
didn't
Year.
recognize you because you're a new you, right?
I'm so new, brand
You're
new.
a new you this year. So how was your
Brand new.
holidays?
My holidays were good.
Yeah.
I was, I think everybody's been sick or having some kind of
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
But I was well enough for the holiday.
Good.
I did miss out on a couple of the cool things that we talked about in the last episode, which kind of bummed me out. But I saw all the pictures, and I mean, just a special shout out to everybody who made the Winter Wonderland at Kennedy Park.
Yeah,
I mean, that
wonderful.
was gorgeous.
Yeah, shout out to everyone that put that together. I know there was a lot of folks through the Creative Community Vision Organization and their volunteers. Kudos to you, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really special, and it's a great jumping off point for this year.
Yeah.
Never too early to start thinking about Christmas.
Why not? Why not?
So you may notice that we are in a different location. This will not be our normal location. We'll be back at our studio digs in February, hopefully. But this is a great opportunity, a new opportunity to showcase an awesome space in Fall River called Groundworks Fall River. It's in the old Durfee Textile Building, which for those of you who like referential landmarks, it's right across the street from the side of the Armory building on Bank Street, and it's in this new building called the Creative Class Building, which is residential. It's got this wonderful co-working space. And I think a lot of people here may not be familiar with co-working because this is our first true co-working space here in Fall River, but Groundwork has its initial location in New Bedford, also at a textile.
It is.
Old textile
It
building.
is. They're kind of like sister. They actually really are like sister buildings in their history with each other. But we'd always talked about taking TViva on a field trip, so I'm
did.
glad we have.
Yeah, and maybe in the summer we'll be, who knows, this could be a whole new thing for us. We're taking it on the road. But so I did want to mention a little bit about Groundwork because I do think it's such an interesting addition to the Fall River professional landscape. A lot of us did, start working at our kitchen tables or wherever, during COVID and even beyond that. And some people just either don't have offices anymore or just kind of decided, okay, well, I'm going to save money. But this is a great way that not only do they have this 5,000 square feet here, which is incredible. They have 10 private offices, 2 meeting rooms, 1,500 square feet of flex space, which flex space is so that if you don't need your own office, you can come.
That's where we are right now.
That's where we are right now. We're in a little nook, but there's the open desks, and it's all, some people are like, oh, well, privacy, but it's all very contained, and there's privacy, but there's also that air of like having people to bounce things off of and
Well, I think you forgot something important is the tasty break room.
Yes.
There's a tasty break room with snacks and drinks, but you make a really good point. For a lot of us that worked at home during 2020 and maybe still work at home now, you're kind of missing a little bit of that camaraderie that you get when you work in a space with other people. And I really love that Groundworks brings that to the community. And also, Groundworks is not just a co-working space, but they're happy to host meetings or other small events here. And we'll talk further on in the episode some stuff that we're going to will be hosting here. Yep.
I mean, that's the thing too, there's certain things you forget about working when you're not working in an office, like printing and mail and stuff like that. And this, the Groundwork has been, I think, I don't even know how many years the New Bedford location's been.
Oh, over 5, I think.
Over 5.
Yeah.
I mean, they have this down to a science. And so that's what's great about it. It's come to Fall River. It was actually supposed to come earlier than this, but of course, COVID always. Someday we will stop talking about it, I hope.
I don't think so, but.
I know. It's just going to be that year, that thing we shall not talk about. But anyway, so you can come anytime and come for a tour, and I think that you absolutely should. You can reach out. Here's the number. I'm going to give it to you. It's 508-441-4622, or you can visit them online at groundwork.space. .com, I guess, and click book a tour. I just saw groundwork.space. But yes, and like I said, it's at 2 Bank Street, and I think that a lot of people would be pleasantly surprised at how wonderful they've made this space. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting. So I'm thrilled. Thank you for hosting us and allowing us to film here.
I know, it was down to the wire. But anyway, so we were talking new year, obviously new events and new programs. The winter's typically a little slow. I mean, at least January. And so the events list this year, this month, you can find on vivafallriver.com as always, and on our social. So we're going to focus. We are going to, do a little work on the events, and because of course we want you guys to not hibernate. You need to get out of your house and be with people. But also, we're going to talk a lot about FRAC today because FRAC's got a ton of things going on. Ashley has hit the ground, not even running, like sprinting at this point.
Who knew I could?
I know.
I didn't know I could go
in these
run
great
that
boots.
fast.
So I was really pleasantly surprised to see all. I mean, the Narrows always has great shows every month, but this month they have a couple stunners. They have the Forever Young tribute, which is the music of Neil Young, which I think is just awesome.
I love Neil Young.
I do too.
Can I just say for a moment that I've actually recorded it in the same booth that Neil Young recorded it in Nashville.
What did you record?
That is a fun fact about Ashley Okino. Yeah, so I've actually recorded a song inside a booth in Nashville. Same one that Neil Young, he recorded a whole album in it.
So when
fun
this
fact.
is over, I'm going to go look and
Well,
see where's the recording.
Yeah, it's on the disc. I'll play it for you sometime.
Oh my God, this year's already off.
Sorry, I interrupted.
This
But
year's
anyway,
off to
the
a great
Narrows. Back
start.
to the Narrows.
Great start. And then there's one on the 27th, which is a Friday night that I do think I'm going to be at. It's the Pearly Baker Band.
Oh, yeah.
They are a wonderful time. They're like New England's longest jam band, I think. I introduced them at the We Heart Fall River Festival, last year's festival. Maybe they'll be there again this year. Who knows? We already have the date set. May 13th, I think.
It is May 13th.
And I think I said that they had been doing it for 26 years, and I was like corrected right away. I think it's 27 years. So they are like the jam band. And then another group that I've heard about for many years, have not seen them, Johnny Hoy and the Bluefish are on the 28th. I think that's blues. So the Narrows is just killing it. And there's also something that I just found out about. I don't know, maybe I could tease it. But they're doing a collaboration with Troy City Brewing. And there is a special exhibit that's coming that is like the first of its kind ever.
Really?
Yes, I didn't even tell you about this.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think we're going to wait to the February because
Yeah.
I don't want to give away too much.
No, have all the facts.
But it's big.
Yeah.
But it's big. So yeah, I'll be ready to talk about it. Another thing that's big and really important, and this is kind of like, it shouldn't be as serious as it is, but it is. So Fall River Public Library has been hosting a drag story time for many months. I went to one of the first ones they did, loved it, loved everything about it. But I guess in December, and before that too, but particularly in December, there was a lot of, I don't even want to call them protesters because I think that they were just rabble-rousers, but neo-Nazi group, I believe it was. Basically people who definitely were not protesting in a peaceful way. No. And just impeding the process. So the 14th, which is next Saturday, the 14th, they are going to, we're doing it again. You're not going to stop. You're not going to stop this.
No. Hate never triumphs love. Love always wins. Love always wins. And so I really do encourage, on behalf of our friends at the Pride Committee, they've encouraged folks to, if you haven't come to one before, please consider coming to the one on January 14th and really show your support and create a safe space for the families that really do enjoy the story time.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And if you've never been to one, just like with anything, if you've never been to something, how can you say it's wrong? Because you don't know. So come and see, and you'll hear a couple stories.
3 stories
actually.
usually they do. Yeah.
And it's just,
And
I don't know.
And often a craft activity. I mean,
Yes.
it's a whole immersive experience. But do please come bring love and come bring some positive message signs to share with the group.
Absolutely. And I know Maxine and I will be there.
Awesome.
We're looking forward to it. We'll be there. Not only will we be there on the 31st, shout out to my man Sheldon. So Sheldon is the tortoise who is the mascot of the Children's Services area. I love Sheldon. Love me some Sheldon. And it's his birthday party on the 31st from 4 to 5 p.m. I will be there. I wonder what you get a tortoise for their birthday, like a little tortoise hat?
I would think you'd get them like a leg warmer just so they could keep their whole shell, because they're cold-blooded, right?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
reptiles, keep them warm.
It's really funny though, this is a complete aside that's not on my paper, but I went there with my daughter over break, and he has like a little picture on his tank of like a beach. And it's so funny because he was like straight up just staring at it, like, and I was like, me too, Sheldon, me too, me too, boy. But so yeah, those are some fun things. Our friends at the Lafayette Durfee House always
doing something
always
good.
bring the cool events. I know by the time this airs, I think we'll have missed the visit from Mrs. Washington, but you will not miss 12th Night, which is a big event there, and that is 18th century cooking and traditions. That's on the 14th again. So you could literally go to the drag story time, come right over here to Lafayette Durfee. I think you can even just leave your car there, just park from 1 to 4 o'clock. And then one that we need to put on our calendar, I'm definitely going to do it. National treasure, and I'm going to call him Fall River treasure. National treasure David Mello, the director of Children's Services, will be doing Tales from the Dead of Winter. So I believe that's his Poe reading, Edgar Allan Poe, which is legendary, and that's from 6:30 to 8:30. So I think that's going to be a really great night and a great opportunity to visit the house if you've never visited it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then there is something called the Winter Fasta, which I'm really mad that I didn't come up with that first and make an event out of it. I'm kind of mad about it now, but I might go. So the Portuguese kids, again, I would love to have them on this show sometime. I'm not sure if they watch our program. They should.
Probably do.
But yeah, they're having a Winter Fasta
That's
at
awesome.
Our Lady of Light Band Club. I'm delighted to see that there's a lot more events happening at Our Lady of Light
Me
Band
too.
Club.
They were part of the Halloween parade.
Yes.
And they really brought the kind of woo-woo, yeah.
I had
awesome.
never been there before. It was like I went actually for a public meeting that they had for ARPA funds. And I never knew that even existed. It's actually a lovely, lovely hall.
Yeah. And
so that's going to be there. It's at 8 o'clock on the 27th, the same day as the Pearlie Baker concert. So I don't know, I'm going to have to choose. And then, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the pop-up shop, which I want to thank everybody who came to the shop and shopped local and shopped small. December was, just a stellar month for everybody. We had a blast. We met a lot of new customers. The sales were great, and we hope that we can continue that momentum into the new year. I know that January is typically a time when people maybe kind of don't spend as much, but we are doing self-care month, and so we're featuring a lot of our makers who do personal care products, and not only just soaps and lotions and things like that, but we also have somebody who I know very well. Her name is Carissa. She is an herbalist. And she owns a company called Town Farm Tonics, and she has elderberry syrup and fire cider, which, going back to what we were talking about earlier, people getting sick, these are really good natural remedies. And right now, it's really hard to find medication on the shelves so here we go. Here's locally made, local herbs, locally grown, and this is a place where you can get it, and it's accessible, and we have plenty of it. So we will be doing a Meet the Makers event on the 18th. I'm hoping that Carissa will be able to be there.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's one of our events that we're doing, and we've got a lot more planned. So.
Yeah, I need to come get more soaps. That milk honey soap. Oof.
Yes.
Such good stuff. But
I know. I treated myself. Treat yourself.
yeah, always.
But now that we're done with the events, and there are other ones
there's
too.
one more I want to mention.
Oh yeah. Oh please.
Oh, it's happening on the 26th here at Groundwork itself, because we talked about how it's a co-working space. There's flex space, there's private space, there's snacks, but there's also exhibits that take place here. So right now on view here is the work of Brooke Mullins Doherty, and Brooke is a new to Fall River artist. She's been around the South Coast for many, many years, but now is Fall River based, and she has a wonderful exhibition that's on view here.
It's gorgeous.
And there'll be a reception coming up on January 26th from 4 to 6 p.m. I'll definitely be here, and I encourage you. That's a great time if you're curious what the heck is Groundwork co-working.
And you don't want to
space.
just come in and feel like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, have an excuse to come see us on the 26th.
The art is gorgeous, and it's and we will both be posting on our social media more about it. So this will not be the last time you hear it, but I think it's win-win. Get to see an awesome new space, and really get to meet Brooke too. I haven't met her in person yet, so I'm really excited about it. But it's great to have another space that shows art.
It is great.
We need to integrate art into all the things that we do.
Preach it.
Like preaching to the choir. Speaking of art, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about all the things going on with FRAC, because this is going to be a big year for FRAC.
All right, well, I'll talk about some of the things because there's just too much. But what I want to focus on today and what I want to share with everyone is FRAC has money, and we want to give it to you. How great is that? So FRAC got some grant money from Mass Development. They have a program called the Creative Catalyst Grant Program. It's an amazing program that funds a lot of different unique programs that take place all across the state. And so this past round, there was 7 different applications that were approved in 5 different cities. And so Fall River is one of them. And I'm just going to read off the other ones just so you kind of have an idea of kind of who also is participating. So Chelsea, Revere, Lawrence, Barnstable, and Holyoke.
Wow.
And then Fall River. So we're excited.
That's
We
awesome.
thank Mass Development for supporting our program. And so the program that I'm happy to share with you is called the Ignition Fund. And what the Ignition Fund is, it's an artist recovery program, and there's 2 parts to it. The first is that we have some small grants available. So we are doing 10 grants of $2,500 each, and they are for New Bedford if you live or work in the city and you are a creative person. And by creative, you could paint, you could play an instrument, you might be a singer,
Theater,
an actor, theater, digital arts. You might be a drag performer. You could be,
Oh my
you
gosh.
could be just whatever you consider yourself as creative, right? So if you are creative and you're like, hey, I could use $2,500, think about applying. It's a really easy application. The first part is just eligibility, just to make sure that you are, here in Fall
who you say you are.
and you're here in Fall River. And then from there, you'll get approved and you'll get the second part of the application. But I will say that part 1 is due on Friday, January 20th. So do go and fill that out. You can find the application at FRAC's website, which is thefrac.org, or through our Instagram, you can get there, or on our Facebook.
I mean,
We have the Facebook
I love
now.
it. We've grown from one way to reach you to now 3.
Now 3 ways to reach
Website
us.
is looking sick. It's looking
Thank
so
you.
good.
I'm really happy with how
Really
the
good.
website came out, and thank you to the Community Foundation, actually, who helped sponsor getting that website created. But check out the website. You can get to part 1 on there. It's due on January 20th. Once you're approved, you'll get part 2. Part 2 is not due until the end of February. But what's going to happen over the next few weeks, starting on January 10th, then on the 13th, and then again on the 14th, those are all information sessions. So our first information session is coming up on Tuesday the 10th at 6 p.m. Our next one will be at Groundwork here on Friday the 13th at lunchtime. We'll provide a little
Don't
bit
get
of
scared.
snacky.
Don't get
No,
scared.
it's going to be not
No
spooky,
black
not
cats. It's
scary.
gonna be
It's going to be a little
fantastic.
bit of snacks and a lot of information if you're curious about applying for the grant. Or you can join us in a hybrid model. So on the 14th, that's January, that's a Saturday, and at 9 a.m. we will offer it via Zoom. But if you're in town and you want to kind of go to a place and just kind of watch it and participate, we'll provide the information for you to sign up on our website. But you can also, if you're interested in going to the hybrid model on the 14th, just text 401-225-6273. So we have online option for the info session, we have in-person here at Groundwork, and we have a hybrid option. So if you have questions about the application, check it out. So that's part 1 of the Ignition Fund. So we have money and we
I
want to
love it.
give it to you.
Yes.
Part 2 is that we have some free workshops coming up.
Ooh.
The workshops are available
Hold on,
for...
you're giving away money and you're doing
And
free
we're
workshops.
doing free workshops.
All right,
And
I
so-
got to step it up.
So they're open for everyone. You should sign up, tell your friends,
right.
your family, everyone can sign up for them. They're going to be offered virtually. The first one is coming up on January 18th, and it's in the evening at 5:30. Do sign up. Again, you can find all that information at thefrac.org. And our workshops are tied to the Ignition Fund application in the sense that what these workshops will teach you will really inform what you're doing if you're interested in applying. But even if you aren't interested in the $2,500,
no, I mean, these are great.
but you're like, ooh, what are these workshops about? Well, if you've ever applied with the Fall River Local Cultural Council, or you have other opportunities where you're like, I am a creative person and I don't want to work for free, and I have something awesome that I'd like to share with the community. Oh, these workshops are perfect for you. So we kick off in January with how to plan a project. We're kind of just
We could all
starting.
use help with
we
that,
can all
let me
use
tell
it,
you.
and then whether, like
That
I
is-
said before, if it's visual arts or music, it doesn't matter. We'll start off with project planning, and then from there in February, we'll come back with how to write a grant application, and we're
Oh,
gonna just kind
I'm
of
definitely
break it
signing
down
up for
for
that
you. Yeah, as people, like, you can never. Even if you've done it before, I do recommend just come on back. You might pick up some tips or be able to ask a question that's kind of been burning in your mind.
Or where to find, and sometimes I've been on a couple grant ones where they help you to find sources of grants, because
That's
that's what I
always
hear
tricky.
too. Where do I find them? And there's software that you can purchase subscriptions to and whatnot, but there's also ways that, and the people who are on this call can become part of your network.
Oh,
So, I mean,
absolutely.
you're home. That's the beauty of Zoom these days. You can learn something from home and.
You can. So I do encourage you, either consider applying for the funds, consider coming to the workshop, both. I really would love to see everyone take advantage of both of them. So exciting. I mean, FRAC, we're thrilled to be able to give money back out into the community. And so I had mentioned it's an artist recovery program. And really what we're doing with this money is we're trying to empower folks to be kind of go-getters.
Yeah.
Like don't just kind of sit back.
Don't be limited.
Let's go after stuff that's available to make great things happen here in Fall River. So
it's hard sometimes, when you want to do things but you don't have the funding. But so this time, turn it around. Like, have the funding in sight and have a project in mind and get that project funded. I mean, it's a different way of looking at things. And as somebody who didn't come from a nonprofit background, it is a different way of attuning yourself to finding money and understanding grants. And grants are free. I mean, there's reporting involved. And that's part of, the learning process as well. But I think this is fantastic. And this is something that we have not seen in Fall River yet, is that help for individual artists, people who are not 501c3s, who are not charities.
Right.
So this is hugely important. And I commend you because you got it. I mean, she hasn't even been, I think it'll be a year,
almost
next
a year.
week.
Almost a year.
Look at this.
Yeah. So but it's exciting. And, again, I have to credit Mass Development. They're the ones that gave FRAC the money, right? So thank you. And now I'm really thrilled to give it all back out to you in the community. That's,
Come and get it, please.
FRAC, we're really here to be, like we've said before, we're
Advocates.
here to be a resource. We're here to be advocates for you. So I'm thrilled. And yeah, when you're on the FRAC website, you can check out, because you'd mentioned we have lots of things going on. Do check out, we have other things listed on there. But yeah, 2023
It's going to be good.
It's going to be busy. I was thinking the other day, I'm like, I have like 10 different kind of big projects that we'll be doing.
We're going to get through it together, don't you?
Yeah,
Laura?
I'm excited about it. So Ignition Fund, check it out. Consider applying. Have questions, reach out. I'm happy to answer them.
I mean, and if you, before the session, the Ignition Fund info session next Tuesday, we do have the FRAC monthly meeting at 5 o'clock. That is virtual only.
Yep, we're
and you
virtual
can sign
again.
up on thefrac.org, because I already did. But I mean, this is a great opportunity for, and if you have anything you want to, tell to the rest of the group, this is a great time to, sit in, listen, talk, don't talk, but just come.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
come.
Consider coming
Just
to.
come.
I mean, yeah, because we're virtual, right? Like, it's so easy. Just come
low
and join
stress.
us. Yeah, just come and join us. And so we've had really, I think, great attendance over the last year, really, with FRAC meetings. But I encourage, we have anywhere usually from 30 to 40 different people and
And I
organizations
guarantee
on the
you
call.
will learn something new. There will be something.
Totally.
There will be some nugget of information you did not know before. When you log off, you'll be like,
Yeah, whether it comes from me personally or
another
all the
member.
other people, really the other people on the call, because that's where
Really.
the great connections and kind of partnerships happen. So
Absolutely.
yeah, good stuff happening.
So we got that, and I think before we end, I just want to also preview again another little thing that's coming out. You might have seen it in the Herald News. It was on the front page of the paper. I believe it was yesterday. So I have joined forces with my colleagues, my friends, because we are friends, in New Bedford. I have friends in New Bedford. I'm going to admit it. They are from Destination New Bedford, which is the travel and tourism, and then also New Bedford Food Tours, which is an amazing company that does these great little food tours in downtown New Bedford. May or may not be doing something in Fall River. Keep your ears open. But we're going to do a Pasti de Nata throwdown. And whether I'm saying it right or you know what I'm going to talk about, it's those Portuguese custards. We are doing, and it's a friendly food fight. Where you take it is I'm keeping it friendly.
Always.
And it's to find out who has the best Pasti de Nata in the region, New Bedford or Fall River, and maybe both. But there will be a winner at the end. We will have a golden Nata trophy that I'm making. And it's really at the end of the day, though, this is an opportunity. We want to get people to learn about bakeries in the region, and then just to always with an eye toward highlighting our culinary tourism, highlighting all the things that we have, the culinary culture here in the region, but then also helping to promote small businesses and making sure that small businesses, once the holidays are over, January is typically slow, February. We are going to be doing a restaurant week again in April.
Nice.
I'll be announcing that probably. The February show is going to be big. We got a lot going
busy.
on. But yes, so we will be doing the Nata Throwdown, so keep an eye out for that. And the other thing that I wanted to mention, just before we really close the door on 2022, if you are looking for, I always think it's fun to do a year in review, because sometimes you don't realize all the things that you've done throughout the year because you're just doing. But so I worked on this 2022 year in review. You probably can't see it here, but you can download a copy on TVivaFallRiver.com of all the things that Viva worked on, and a lot of them with FRAC, with many different partners, and just talks about, it's just a nice little look at what we've done together, what we've done for the community, and I'm proud of it.
It is incredibly impressive. Incredibly impressive. It really is. I mean, take a peek. You'll be absolutely blown away.
You probably don't know a lot. I mean, I get people all the time who wonder what Viva is and are we just a mural and whatever. And like whatever we are to you is great, but we do a lot of things, and we're always willing to connect people. If we can't be personally involved, we love to connect. So definitely always reach out to us at VivaFallRiver.com, or VivaFallRiver@gmail.com. But yeah, so we hope to see you at the FRAC meeting. Definitely looking forward to February. Again, come to the 26th, meet the artist here at Groundwork. Don't forget groundworks.space if you want to come and take a tour. And I think, and like I said, and I've been using this line. So I know a lot of people are doing dry January, but don't let that involve your elbows. So go to the Viva Fall River pop-up and get some personal care products. Dry January does not have to
It doesn't
include
have
your
to be
elbows.
dry skin.
No, it does not. No, it does not, right from the beginning. So thank you so much for watching today, and Viva Fall River.